Day, May 27th, 2020.
Our national days today are
National Cellophane Tape Day,
National Grape Popsicle Day,
National Senior Health and Fitness Day.
Whittier weather, a high of 78, a low of 66. Chance of participation is 10%. B, Theodore D,
Kai P,
and Blake
W.
Can you hear me? You need
Happy
to
birthday today to
Max D,
And Avery D. And Avery G.
Means you get to have another birthday next year.
Hey Whittier, it's Miss Liang. For those of you that don't know, I live in downtown Frederick, and I know a lot of us with schools closing, we are going to be missing our end of the year field trips. So I thought today I would walk you around downtown Frederick and give you a little virtual walking field trip. So I have my mask and we're going to get started. Let's do it. It's going to be City Hall. Now I'm looking up at the sky. It's looking a little dark over there, so I'm going to try to get our virtual field trip in before it storms. All right, so this is City Hall. This is right across the street where I live. So let me get my notes out, make sure I give you guys all the right information. So City Hall, this building is not the original building. You can see at the top there, there's a sign that says 1862. Before this building was here, City Hall was built in 1750. It was a courthouse and a jail. For my 5th graders that are learning about the American Revolution right now, in 1765, the building that was here became the Maryland Capitol, while Annapolis had some things going on during the American Revolution. When this building was the Capitol, there were 12 judges, Frederick County judges, that refuted, meaning voted against, the Stamp Act. So for those of you that don't know, the Stamp Act during the American Revolution was the British trying to put all of these crazy taxes on the Americans because America was not its own country yet. So the judges here voted against the Stamp Act, and it was a really, really big deal. The original building caught on fire, and this was the building that was rebuilt in 1862. So this was not the original building, but it's standing on top of the foundation that was the original building. If you were to go inside today, which we cannot because it is closed due to COVID-19, it still looks relatively the same as it did when it was built in 1862. It became City Hall in 1980, and now this is where the mayor has his office. This is where a bunch of city people have their offices, and it is now our town's City Hall. And fun fact, right here on the sidewalk, you can see that storm drain right there. In the winter, they will put a giant winter tree there and light it up with Christmas lights. So that is City Hall. All right, I am walking on Market Street. Market Street is the main street that runs up and down Frederick with all the shops and restaurants. Market Street is part of the downtown area, and downtown Frederick is known as one of the top 10 most beautiful places, downtown areas in Maryland, if not the country. So how lucky are we that we live so close to such a pretty downtown area? Now, something you guys may not know is Market Street is named Market Street because this used to be the site of the main city market back in the 1700s and 1800s. And in fact, during the Civil War in 1864, the city of Frederick, especially Market Street, was being taken over by the Confederates of the Civil War. Now, the Confederates during the Civil War was not the side that ended up winning the war. That was the side that promoted slavery. Now, the Confederates took over, and we ended up having to pay them, we meaning the city of Frederick, ended up paying them $200,000 to not burn the city to the ground. Now, interestingly enough, that $200,000 that we paid to not have the city burnt to the ground is one of the reasons that Frederick still has a lot of its historical buildings. The craziest part is we did not pay off that $200,000 until 1951. So almost 100 years later, we were still paying that money off to save Frederick. So you can see there are signs here. We are right along Carroll Creek here. It's starting to drizzle, so I'm going to try to make this quick. So Barbara Fritchie, you can see kind of a picture. She would have been hanging out of one of these top windows here. And again, this is during the Civil War, so you can see Civil War trails right next to it. Barbara Fritchie was a 95-year-old woman, and what happened was, during the Civil War, again, we have the Confederates and the Union, and they are walking here. And what happened was the Confederates were walking by, which again is the people that would have promoted slavery, and Barbara did not agree with that. So she took a Union flag, which is what we now know as our American flag, and she waved it out the window, and she kind of was politely rebelling against the Confederates. Now, some interesting things about Barbara Fritchie and why we know her. She was a part of a poem that was written by John Greenleaf Whittier. So you can see that here, hence probably why Whittier is named Whittier Elementary. And this poem was really famous, and it talked all about Barbara Fritchie and how she did what she did to stand up for what she believed in. Now, as you can see, there's also a plaque here that explains this next part. Now, this poem about Barbara Fritchie was so famous that famous people such as Winston Churchill and Franklin D. Roosevelt, Franklin D. Roosevelt was our president during World War II, they stopped here on the way to the presidential retreat up in Camp David. And when they stopped here, again, Winston Churchill was the Prime Minister for England, and Franklin D. Roosevelt was our president at the time, so very important people. When they stopped here, Winston Churchill recited the entire John Greenleaf Whittier poem about Barbara Fritchie from heart. So somebody as famous as the Prime Minister of England knew this poem. Now, another piece of interesting information is you can tour here, you can also stay here. And I'm gonna keep walking as I talk. Something that you can see when you do come here is a tea kettle that you would put to heat water on a stove. And the tea kettle is from 1791. And in 1791, George Washington came and paid a visit to Barbara Fritchie, and she served him tea out of that kettle. So some interesting information, and we're gonna move on to our last site. Park. So Baker Park was purchased in 1916. In that bell tower right there, there are actually 58 bells in that bell tower, which is a lot. And they go off just about every hour. Something else, oh, there we go. Look at that, you guys get a firsthand here. Okay, so on my left we have Carroll Creek. Now there was an original creek here. They have since modified it and changed it. This creek is now man-made, and the reason that it runs all the way through Baker Park is for flooding. So I don't know if you guys remember, a few years ago there was a huge flood in Frederick. And why they made this creek is so that if we start to get a lot of rain, the water can then flood into the park where it's not as big of a deal, instead of flooding into the city and causing a lot of damage. So if you guys ever have a lot of rain, you can kind of drive by Baker Park and you'll see that that creek is starting to flood the park, which again is okay because it's just grass, and luckily it's not flooding into people's houses. Now that gazebo over there, I'm trying to zoom in for you, was built in 1927. They have been updating it and maintaining it, but that original structure is from 1927. That's crazy to think about, that that gazebo was there before World War II. That was built during part of the Great Depression. Now over here, I know this is kind of the back view of it, but this is the band shell, and this is where they have concerts. This is where their 4th of July. They'll have people performing, all kinds of stuff. So that is Baker Park. All right, so we are towards the end of our tour. I'm gonna head inside before it starts raining. One last thing I wanted to show you guys is while you're walking around downtown Frederick yourself with your families, there's something really cool that you guys can look for. And they are called historical register markers. So I'm trying to see if I can find one. I'm sure I'll find one soon. They're little circular plaques that go next to the door of a house. Oh, there's one over there. Let me cross the street safely. So what these plaques mean is this house, so this one, for example, you can see the little circle right next to the door. That house is a registered historical marker. So that house is either really old and it looks just like it did, or they have redone it to keep it looking like it was. So when you guys are walking down downtown Frederick, you can see how many of those you can spot. Look, I'm already seeing another one here. You can see it has a plaque underneath. This house was built in 1814, it looks like, which is really old, and then it has the registered marker up top. So see how many of those you can spot with your family if you come walking down here. I hope you guys had a great time. I had a lot of fun, and I hope you guys learned something awesome about our place where we live. It's so cool that we live so close to somewhere that has so much history, and you guys can come and walk around for yourselves. Have a great day, guys.
What did the one volcano say to the other volcano?
I don't know, Skylar. What did one volcano say to the other?
I love you.
Ah! Bada boom. What do you guys think about that joke?
Laughing humor.
Obviously not.
Don't quit my day job, huh?
It's good for now.
Yeah. All right, it needs some work. I gotcha.
You need a lot of work.
Do some joke books. What is
Madison.
the oldest U.S. national park?
Ooh, what is the oldest U.S. national park?
10,000 hydroclothic features, geysers, hot spring, mud pots, and emeralds.
The national park covers about 2.22 million miles, over 290 waterfalls.
Concentrations of mammals and lower species. 67 species.
All right, guys, and what park is that?
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone,
Park.
yes.
Next for you today. A paperback thief in a lengthy tune.
I literally don't know what that is.
Nobody knows.
Oh, the paperback thief is a book crook, and the lengthy tune is a long song. Makes
There are two clues that are rhyming words. So a paperback thief is a book crook, a lengthy tune, a long song. Great job, guys.
Whose part is it? Is
Madison's, I think.
it? Can you name the 7 dwarfs?
Ooh, can you name the 7 dwarfs? I can think of one. And I know when I was looking for this question, lazy is not one of them.
No, it's Sleepy, Dopey, Doc, Grumpy.
Let's see. All right, guys.
Of the day, yesterday's word was instigate, to go or urge forward or I just totally forgot it.
Today's guest word comes the day that comes from Webster's. The word is harmonious.
Good job.
Between being right or being kind, choose kind.
And thanks, Olivia, for that leadership quote. Please stand for the pledge. Ready? I pledge allegiance
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, justice for all.
Announcements for today. Sandy Whittier time is 8:57. Have a fantastic day.
Awesome job, guys. And do we want a blooper reel at the end?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hurry up. Don't blow your top. I don't know. What did it say? Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. You want to do it again? Or are you just saying there's a lot of stuff you could say?
No, I mean, there's a lot of stuff we can restate. I mean, there's that one sentence I admit, it's like I said the whole thing wrong.
You did a great job.
Like sometimes I would like forget what I'm saying and it was like, what?
Just what?
Okay.
What?
It was fun.
So can I ask?
You do and resay.
We had to wait.
There's a lot of stuff we could say again.
There was some parts out there.
There's a lot of stuff.
Okay.
It's even knowing that I can't be with people, I get to still see them, and the activities we still get to do are different, but it just makes it more unique. It's interesting.
Family, but no matter what, if some of your family can't be there, because recently I had some of my family members come down, so I got to see them. And now with this whole entire thing going on, I really can't see all my family members in like one house at the same exact time with all of us talking. But now we have to stay 6 feet apart. So it's been a really fun experience.
All right, guys. Thank you for your help. And I'll
really imagine that.
What'd you say, Skylar?
Oh, I know some people with like millions of subscribers, so imagine that. Wouldn't that be awesome?
That would be awesome. I'm never going to be that person.
Yeah, you might be if some other people watch it, because there's a lot of views, so I bet a lot of people watching this.
Kind of fun. All right, ladies. Thank you.
It's better than our school things.
All right. Have a good night.
Nicole, thank you.
Have a good
No
night.
problem.
All right. Are you one of my subscribers?
Yes.
Woohoo! Remember, hit that like button or subscribe, right?
Yeah.
I'm up to 135 subscribers.
To the largest
That was fast. That just was fast.
I can go back. I told you that one was fast, and I didn't hit it in time.
the national. Wait. Home to the largest.
We're getting there, but it just goes.
We're not getting there.
Hang on.
It just gets to that part.
Wait. To the larger you are, the less you think about what would be because if you're positive, you don't think about the bad things that happen, and it helps you to be in the bright side and be happy even in a dark time.
Okay.
Actually, just go to regular YouTube to do it.
Okay.
The hardest part is like being separated from your friends. I think that's really hard for me because during school you could just talk to your friends, and then after that, as soon as we leave, you can't talk to them anymore. I think the hardest part is trying to get used to this whole new thing and try to find your way through, and it's really hard.
Okay. Oh,
But
hang on. Gotta go back. It's still too fast. I thought I slowed it down.
I need to re-say that in sentence.
Okay.
hey, Skylar, I got some pink.
Not being able to be extroverted.
Stay calm.
Stay calm.
Stay positive.
Stay